Das ist good. So hello, we're back, and today, it's very exciting. Very exciting in the studio today, but we're back, and I'm joined with Dan Cooper from Engadget. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
You know what? I feel great for day, 3 of a conference?
Day 3, it's day 5 since we've been here now.
This is since we've been here.
No one ever remembers the 2 days of prep before the show actually starts, the running around beforehand.
The busiest days for press.
Oh yeah, completely. By this point, you can just check out. That's it.
Yeah. So Dan and I have been here since the very first highlights tour.
We have indeed.
Yeah. So tell me about your highlights of CeBIT 2014.
I meant to have highlights.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your high points, your exciting.
Well, I got up and I dressed and I showered. That was a pretty high point for me. I didn't need any help to do that. No, in all honesty, I think there were some interesting things like there's an e-ink smartphone. So this is a smartphone with just an e-ink display, which it's interesting. Not necessarily the sort of thing that you might want to rush out and buy simply because it's an e-ink phone. And if you're a big fan of reading, and plenty of people are, then I'm sure there might be sort of some notion to it. But I think actually when you sort of have it in your hand and you think, this means there's no music, there's no video, there's no camera. It's a Kindle with a modem in it. This is the problem. No internet either.
And no internet.
Because the browser would be crazy.
Would be just ridiculous.
Completely, yeah.
But no music. You can't even use it as an MP3.
I think maybe they're planning on maybe including that in the final version, but this sort of late stage prototype wasn't really up to that. But then of course you couldn't even do basic stuff because it's running Gingerbread. It's 2014. It's running Gingerbread.
Gingerbread. What number was that? 2.3.
Yep. It was still when Android was being carved out on stone tablets. This is it, and Google would actually have to send you a stone tablet in the post, and then you'd there sort of carve it into your phone like this, and you swipe to move between home screens, and you swipe, and you're like, put a cup of tea on, go to the bathroom, come back. It still hasn't actually changed to the next home screen.
So you know what my big my favorite gadgety thing. So if you remove the buzzwords of big data and security.
Ooh.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna remove these buzzwords. Right?
We are going into a scary place here.
Just if we take those away, robots.
Robots?
There was a lot of robots here.
There were. And some of them were pretty cool.
I liked the cooking robot. Did you see that?
I didn't see the cooking robot.
Oh, there's one in Hall 9. So you can actually cook with him, and if you're say visually impaired and you have a recipe, it'll actually automate your kitchen. So it'll put 3/4 of a cup of water if you're making bread or cookies. It's a cooking robot. Cool.
I need to go and find this thing.
Yeah, you need to.
I need to take it home as well.
Take it home. Take home the cooking robot.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's by a small German startup actually. So it's by a small German startup here, and it's a robot in the kitchen. I thought it was just really, really kind of different. So then there was the stripper robots. Remember that we saw the stripper robots?
Yeah, the creepy stripper robots with the security camera faces. Thing is, I couldn't even work out what they were trying to promote with that. It's like, look, these robots are doing a sexy dance, but they're made of security camera parts. And I'm thinking, is state surveillance sexy? Am I meant to be enjoying this? Is this, You never know. It's like, come on, you should like this. You should like this. Get on board. Get on board with the robo nudity.
No, I mean, so we've actually had the sexy stripper robot video from I think CeBIT 3 years ago. So if you go onto our YouTube channel, you can find it, stripper robots mobile geeks. #1 result.
Clang.
But actually, the interesting thing, because I don't know about you, but I've spent the past few days just walking the show floor, and it's unavoidable that people are going to give you a big data pitch.
Yeah, they are. And surprisingly, all of the startups that are here this year, almost all of them are talking about big data and just ways to collate and use this data. There's a great one. Basically, they're talking about anonymizing huge amounts of data, which is interesting, but not particularly exciting when it comes to consumers. But I think it's these sort of things that are important, but not necessarily very sexy. You know, it's kind of like it's the opposite of the pole dancing robots, which oh no, they're not very sexy either. No, just nothing is sexy at CeBIT.
They're creepy sexy.
Yeah.
But you know, so the conversation that I thought was missing from a lot of these big data pitches that I was having, because it's huge companies looking at integrating with, you know, different databases or different CRM, or, you know, just really kind of trying to understand how they're going to make value out of data. Was how are the people that are looking to make value out of these large groups of data going to talk to those people who are making value out of those groups of data, right? And so, like, there's no way that, like, I can see the like everything kind of coming together in one big happy way, like everyone's pitching big data, you know,
Yeah.
like big data seems to be this thing that's going to happen to our whole society, and you know, but it's not like that. And
The thing is, big data. The exciting idea of big data, I always feel, is that it's the notion that eventually all of the world's information will be in one box, and you can ask that box anything and it will give you the right answer. The problem, of course, is that when you have all of that information and it's in that one box, not only is it a huge tangled mess, it's also quite terrifying, because all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, so now, you know, my Amazon history, my search history, my phone calls, my medical records are all in this thing. And basically, you know, now it's whoever has the money to access this has me, has the key to me. The other thing, of course, is that how much money can you really make off this sort of thing? You imagine companies like Amazon, for instance, you know, they've got all this data. They're not necessarily going to want to share it because they're making money on it as it stands. So these startups are knocking on the doors of these companies saying, you know, please, you know, let us at the goodies because we're hoping to make money. And I guess a lot of these sort of big players who have got all of this data are going to say, well, no, butt out, because we've got access to them and we're making money and we're doing perfectly fine.
Yeah. So big data and the Internet of Things is another kind of.
You're killing me with buzzwords.
I'm
here.
doing all the buzzwords.
If you say
right
disrupt, productize.
Where's our bullshit bingo card? I'm just going to.
Do you know what's going to happen? Like the tech equivalent of Candyman is going to emerge
Bing, bing, bing,
and
bing,
just
bing.
kill us. You know, this is you're riding very close to the wind.
No, but I kind of want to like because like you also think that it's bullshit bingo basically when you're walking around and my eyes kind of glaze over a little bit with all of these people who are just inundating me with how they're going to revolutionize the world basically with their app.
See, I get and I've seen a lot of pitches where people are like, oh no, you definitely need a smart toothbrush. You need a smart toothbrush because you need something that's going to tell you that you need to clean your teeth, and this is going to tell you that you need to clean your teeth for 2 minutes. It's going to do an accelerometer-based 3D map of your mouth to make sure that you don't miss anything.
Woo.
And one half of me is like, oh, okay, so you know, if I'm always missing a particular bit, then that's great. But I kind of feel like I'm paying these people money so that I don't have to pay attention to my own life. I'm buying awareness. It's like, you know, when you buy like a fuel band or sort of Fitbit, something like that. What you're getting there really is the option to just not pay attention. And, you know, you're spending like £100 for this little wristband to say, get up and move. You are fat. Get up and move.
Don't be so lazy. Take the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My thing, like my big issue, I think, with a lot of the pitches that I've been having this show is that big data is going to make a lot of people very rich. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's going to make a lot of money. But there's no money in creating standards for big data or Internet of Things. And I think we're coming into a period of the wild, wild west, which is kind of refreshing, actually. Because like when I first got it started in tech, mobile was the wild, wild west, and it was before the iPhone was released, right?
Sure, yeah.
So like mobile went through this period of like, I'm like, oh, you're a pump and dump. You know, you've got a who's giving you money? I have a great idea too, right? And I think that we're like mobile matured.
Yeah, it did.
It really matured, and like the business models and the plans and the way that it's adding value to people's lives, I think is very real. But now with the Internet of Things and big data and all of these buzzwords, I think we're back again to this wild, wild west period in tech where, you know, who gave you money for that idea? Because I've got 10 that are better than that, or maybe worse, you know?
Probably 10 that are better and 25 that are worse.
Probably.
It's see, I guess the problem is, as a consumer, right? If you have a choice between, you know, company A's Internet of Things pitch and company B's Internet of Things pitch, and not necessarily at CeBIT so much, but certainly sort of at the trade shows earlier in this year, I've seen a lot of companies that, you know, are saying, oh no, buy into our thing, and you get this little chip and you put it on your cupboard door and it'll tell you when your kids are going to your pill cabinet. And each one is costing like £25. It's nearly like €30 just for this little kind of sensor that you stick on a door.
That was that creepy mommy doll,
the
right?
mom doll, yes.
Yeah. That was a creepy doll.
It was freaky. But that can't run with anyone else's system.
Yeah.
So what we're going to end up with is all of these companies are going to have these individual, I'm going to say platform. Oh, look. Oh, I'm so sorry. Shoot me now. All of these companies are going to have all of these platforms. And now it'll be like sort of Blu-ray and high-def DVD again. People are going to stay away because they don't want to pick the wrong platform.
Yeah, no, I agree. There needs to be like a discussion about the standardization of any of these things, and there's no money in that. Actually, like that makes everybody less money. Actually, and it's right now nobody wants to say that it's not going to work unless we have a discussion about standards, because A, standards are less sexy than a stripper robot. Yep. And B, if we have a discussion about standards, who's got the best one, who's going to win? You know?
I don't know. I mean, there are certain standards that are very sexy. The international guidelines for showing ankles on television, I mean, that's pretty raunchy. So, you know, but this standard, no, is not very sexy.
No, not very sexy. So we managed to talk about something less sexy than buzzwords.
Yeah, we need to bring it up a bit. We need to kind of, if you need to, I can take my top off just to kind of. I know this might need to sort of bring the viewers up.
Raise the views up. Yeah. But first, let's talk about what did you want to see at CeBIT? What were you hoping was going to be here?
I was hoping for a product. I was hoping for just something, and I guess the problem with CeBIT is that it exists now, at least, just in that wrong, from a tech journalist perspective. And I know that this is really selfish, but, you know, when I'm at a show, I want to see something that's groundbreaking and amazing, or just something so new and great, not just an existing technology that's been made smaller or changed in some way. And the problem is that CeBIT now sits after CES and after MWC. Now, if you're a company selling consumer products, where are you going to go and take your stuff? You're going to take them to the two consumer shows. And so what CeBIT, it's kind of like CeBIT sort of beating heart is kind of draining away a bit, because now there's a lot of startups and there's a lot of government things, a lot of research that isn't necessarily that exciting, because they're looking for funding, they're looking for business partners to take these ideas forward. And so, you know, what it would have been great to see would have been a great Internet of Things device that, you know, was coming out of some of these universities. That would have been great. It would have been really good to see some 4K stuff, because it's going to be the next thing. And I was surprised at how little engagement there was here with sort of 4K stuff.
You know, I did get a couple of 4K pitches, but they were all meeting room pitches that I randomly ended up in. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was. Yeah,
it's not technology that's ready for the world, and this is the worry.
But you know, so it was interesting. I was at the Salesforce party last night, and we were kind of like just observing, right? And more like it was me and a bunch of bloggers, and we were all just kind of looking around, and it was bizarre to us because we were kind of going, well, CeBIT's definitely B2B now, which is why we're at a Salesforce party. Yeah. SAP was over there, and that's not necessarily like, if as somebody who's consumer hardware focused, there's going to be a gap for sure.
Yeah, there is.
But you know what the weird thing was?
Go on.
So South by Southwest is at the same time as CeBIT, right? And we're standing here at this Salesforce party, and we're like, Jesus Christ, these Germans are out of control. Right? We're like, oh my God, look at them go. But then we're like, okay, so basically, this is like CeBIT's, to me, CeBIT's kind of like South by Southwest without the social media people. Because it is.
I could see that. And
right?
without the Hollywood people.
Without the Hollywood people, without the social media people. So it's coming up into this new place that maybe it's not so sexy for traditional, like us consumer hardware facing, but it's more like if you want to have meetings about like in business and like the people are more accessible. I've had some really good like insight. I know it's a little bit about buzzwords and big data, but it's still important for me to understand.
It is.
Right? It's
Can
really
I just ask though? I've got to ask.
Yeah.
Are you saying that CeBIT is a bit like South by Southwest, just not as Hollywood, because you're convincing yourself that you should be here instead of there? Is this self-delusion time? Because you look in the mirror every morning at CeBIT and you're like, I could be at South by Southwest right now.
You know, I've never been to South by Southwest.
I haven't either.
Yeah, no, because I'm not a social media whore, so I don't attend that conference. So like to me, it's like to me, because I live in Taiwan, I'm not going to fly all the way to Austin, Texas, to go to a couple of parties. I mean, I'll go to Thailand if I want to go to a couple of parties, you know.
Yeah.
So like the global appeal for me to go to South by Southwest is actually less than for me to come to CeBIT, because at least at CeBIT, I know that I'm making the right business choice.
You are.
Right.
And also, there wouldn't be any products or anything else. I mean, you might get some hip startup, you know, everyone's wearing trainers on their ears. They'll be like, oh, hey, buy our app in which you can wear trainers on your ears. And we'll all go, that's stupid. And in 6 months' time, we'll all be doing it.
Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, there's just a thing about South by that I'm not sure that I'm the right person for that show, but
we're too cool for it.
We're too cool for South by South. That's why we're at CeBIT. We're making the good, sensible choice.
This has become group therapy. You realize?
Maybe
this
just
is now
a little
you
bit.
and me just convincing ourselves that we're better. We're better people.
We are. We're totally better people. You agree with us, right, viewers? Right? Right here.
It's the face of better people.
The face of better people right here. Okay, so back to CeBIT. Did you enjoy the weather?
Yes, it was amazing.
Do you think that like if say CeBIT, how long have you been coming to CeBIT?
This is my second year now.
So last year the weather was terrible.
It was terrible, and you walk. It felt a bit like being in a communist dystopia, because from the hotel you walk along this huge concrete bridge, and you've got all of they're basically warehouses and like aircraft hangars, all the places where the trade show actually is. And you walk along this concrete ramp over this concrete bridge. There's fog, there's cloud. You're there sort of huddled in your coat, and you're like, God, I can't wait to queue for my food ration. And then you get in and you get bombarded with all these lights and sounds and colors.
And everyone's German.
That's racist. I think that's racist.
I know. I love the Germans.
They're good people. And this year, of course, completely different, because the sun was out and all of the fields were nice and dry. And
the vibe was just, I thought the energy of CeBIT this year, I thought it was really good. I mean, I had a lot of fun, like just walking around. Well, because I wasn't in here. I just got to go to all the halls, and I just got to kind of, you know, and there was, half of the halls were serving cake. Yeah. There was cake everywhere.
I tell you what, whatever they gave out for lunch on Sunday or Monday, it was like this sort of strudely cake, little kind of square, and it tasted like it had marshmallow in it. I mean, I had 2 slices of that, and I didn't regret it either.
Nice.
I mean, I regret it the day after, but right then,
fine. Yeah,
that was good cake.
Yeah, so I mean, like I've actually had a really good CeBIT. I think this is my 4th CeBIT, and I like that it's going later. Yeah. So that the weather is just nicer.
See, I got the sense this time that the place was a bit like a university campus just after the exams have finished, you know, so the sun is out and everyone's laying on the grass. You got these really nice, big, wide open spaces of trees, and actually everyone's in with that vibe. You know, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too. And I also liked that I got to spend more time with some of the gadgets that I saw at MWC.
Sure.
right? So I kind of got to spend some time at the Samsung booth, and then I really liked the Deutsche Telekom and the Vodafone booth. They were really good. They both had ice cream.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
oh, I missed
they
that.
both had ice cream.
The Vodafone booth, I thought was utterly brilliant. I mean, I'm sure you've shown these guys already, but it's basically they've built Tron. They've built Tron in the real world. They've made a wireframe out of neon tubes that move, and you've got like these stairs going up. It's the most crazy thing. And like the first thing you think is, oh my god, that's amazing. Secondly, they should be building LTE in the UK and making it cheaper instead of spending all this money on the neon lights. I'm like, come on.
Maybe that's how they built LTE, is with those neon lights.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would actually be my dream world.
To go live in Vodafone Tron land.
Yes.
With LTE everywhere.
With LTE everywhere.
You only get 1 gig. You only get 1 gig data limit.
No, it's unlimited in my fantasy.
It is a fantasy.
It is a fantasy. It is a fantasy.
One day, maybe. One day. See, that's what I would like to see. Going back to, you asked me what I want to see. I want to see all the European mobile phone companies say, yeah, we're giving up. Roaming is everywhere. Everyone gets unlimited LTE for €50 a month. You know, that would do.
I have been waiting for the death of the SIM card because there's actually no technological reason why the SIM card exists.
Sure, yeah.
You know, like we could all just go off the phone numbers. We could actually, if everyone played nicer, we could actually just get rid of that technology.
The the European Minister for Telecoms, Neelie Kroes, or Cruz. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Me neither.
She's been banging on about this for years. Get rid of roaming. And when they had the big sort of the opening ceremony with David Cameron and Chancellor Merkel, I was kind of hoping that maybe they would have made a big announcement saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna work together to suspend roaming." Because I haven't actually had any mobile phone signal here because I didn't bother getting a SIM card. I thought I'd rely on Wi-Fi.
I did the same. Yeah, I did the same.
Regret it.
I regretted
hugely.
it also. Yeah.
Because the Wi-Fi isn't particularly great.
Yeah. Well, it's not that the Wi-Fi is not great. It's that the login system.
Yeah.
Whatever they've chosen to do there is not great.
What they've chosen to do is annoy everyone and stop you. Put so many barriers for you to actually use the Wi-Fi that you just give up and go to the press room and use the Wi-Fi there.
Maybe that's like the secret plan. To keep you focus on the booth and then you focus on the work. Huh? It's very efficient.
Now that's a stereotype. That is. You're racist.
I love making fun of the Germans. I have a German business partner.
See, the thing is that we're in a glass cube, and there are people in there, and there are loads of people outside now banging at the windows, waving knives and forks, and waving
strudel at us.
And I'm trying not to look at them because I know if I do, I'll be knocked off my game.
He's staring at us right now.
No, I know this is
going to claw through.
Because I'm a fan of Germany. I think it's great.
No, so do I. No.
I love the beer. I love the Munchahalle.
So last night, for the first time, I saw the Lowenbro.
The lion.
The lion.
Yes.
There really are some fantastic and interesting. And he roars, "Oh, Lowenbro."
We came out we had dinner there yesterday.
Oh.
And there were these people who were sort of walking past and didn't realize that this huge sort of
Giant
2-story tall lion could move. I personally didn't either. But they were sort of leaning on it, and it went, "Lawn, bro!" Like this. Sorry, I'm just deafened.
Everyone's had a heart attack. No, but if you've seen this lion, it's 100% appropriate. I mean, his tail moves. Like, this to me is like definitely one of the highlights of coming to CeBIT. There's these amazing German structures.
Yes.
Right? And like the halls and the beer and somehow like the conference feels different than a lot of other conferences because it's run by Germans. And though I make jokes about stereotypes, it's genuinely fascinating to go to a global fair because this is still very much a global fair, and have kind of like a German overlay on top of things. It's
the crazy thing about CeBIT and IFA as well is that because it's tremendously well organized.
Yeah.
There isn't that much sort of elbowing and panicking and rushing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No other conference is everything so neatly laid out and organized as it is here. Everything's sectioned off, and I don't know whether you can say it's chilled out, but maybe that's the wrong word. But it's certainly got a great atmosphere. And I think it's probably because all of the fundamentals are taken care of, whereas you go to other places and there's sort of, it's the last minute dash to get everything up and running, and then you're always behind and there's always massive queues and everything else. Whereas it's just nice to go somewhere where you can trust stuff is happening and it happens,
Yeah. CeBIT, better than South by Southwest.
Yes. Print that on a t-shirt. I would buy
We're going to get t-shirts made next year. Intel Bloggerhütte. TechLounge, better than South by Southwest.
Yes. Or just screw South by Southwest.
Yeah, screw South by Southwest.
We're doing God's work here.
We're doing God's work here. I love it.
See? That could be on the back.
That can be on the back.
So that everyone can. Yeah.
It's a good thing this is all recorded so that we can remember.
Yeah. No, I want, if any fans own a t-shirt printing company, bring them to CeBIT next year.
They should totally get on that.
I'll do a little selfie with it.
All right, Dan, it's been really great having you on, talking about what we want to see at CeBIT, what we have seen, all the great things of this trade show
and data.
And big data. Yeah, I had to throw in all the buzzwords just to see where you stood. I mean, it's nice to call bullshit on some of them, or to understand, or just to understand where the interesting part in this word that's just being thrown around is. Where's the actual value in this discussion? And it's hard sometimes when everyone is just yelling words at you. And it is, yeah. Yeah. It's always great to talk to you.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on.
Oh, thanks. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Ja, hey Sascha, ich wollte den Leuten da draußen auch mal zeigen, wie es außerhalb der Hallen aussieht, weil das CeBIT-Gelände ist gar nicht mal so unschön. Hier gibt es sogar Wiesenflächen, wo